Hey there, good day. Continuing the Kihon created from kata series. We are still at Chinen Shikiyanaka no kun, and this is a combination of techniques done in the kata on the right side and on the left side, and we did this before. It's harai uke jodan urochi shonochi, hand change, and the same on the left side. And again, and then it goes on and so forth and so forth. So the kata is just 2 times, right and left. And as Kihon, you can just do it like this. So, this technique is found in so many kata. Actually, I guess it's in every kata, in one way or another. And the standardized way of calling it, the terminology used, in most cases, is Gedan-barai. There might be other names for it, but the idea and the name is Gedan-barai. So the terminologies in Kobudo, in Ryukyu Kobudo, as well as in Matayoshi Kobudo, I guess, these are post-war creations. So these techniques were standardized and provided with a term to describe it only in the post-war era. So obviously the model for it was karate terminology. So it uses the same ideas, the same words. Sometimes it's more specific for the bo, and sometimes it's a little special. But most of the time, it's very, very similar. It's the same way of using a verb and a noun and making it a noun, right? And then you have like nagashi and sukui and all these kind of descriptive terms that are used for it. And you got osai and you got mawashi, and you use uke and tsuki, and you use a idea of categorization, of categorizing techniques into blocks, or what we say today, deflections, more properly, and attacks. In kogeki waza and deflection waza and so on. So you got a classification. So most of the schools, they classified this movement as Gedan-barai. So there's not much interpretation, and it doesn't matter if you do it like this, or if you do it like that, or if you do it like this. It's all the same, because at the lower level something comes here and you block it. Right? So attacks come here and you block it. Like that. Super easy. But because of this standardization, and because all the kata we know, and because this same technique in all of the kata has been standardized, it's done the same. It's rather unlikely that this was originally the case, because Sushi-no-kon, for instance, came from a person, or is considered to have come from a person, Mr. Shu, which in Chinese is Zhu, Mr. Zhu. And then Sakawa-no-kon is considered to have come from Mr. Sakawa. And Soichi-no-kon is considered to have come from Mr. Soichi. And Shirotaro is not a place name, so it's probably also a person's name, right? And yeah, Yonegawa is a place name. So in the place somewhere Yonegawa, the people used to do it there. They used these techniques. Chatayama used it. Chatayama no kon, same technique. So how in the world does a technique that came from different persons who lived in different centuries and who had a distinct lineage that only was combined in the 20th century. First steps were done in the first half of the 20th century, and then the actual combination, the integration of all of it happened only in the second half of the 20th century. So there is the name Gedan-barai, but is it really? Is it really? So it's just for easy remembrance, because it can be a deflection, you know, it can be high. If you have enough place, it can be an attack. We talked about it. It's the same movement. Try it out. This is the same movement. This here is the same movement as this. When you think from the other side, when you think from the application. And excuse me. And I guess, of course, you know this. Everybody knows this. But most of the people, they don't have the full terminology. And most of the people don't have the knowledge of the full set of kata. So you cannot see. There is a wall. You cannot make a decision. You have a feeling, but you have no proof for it because you don't know the whole thing, right? You have fragments here and there. And you need to fill the gaps, right? So saying this, when someone calls this Gedan-barai and classifies this as a block, then this is just a basic idea to help people. It has been settled, but someone decided that that's it, that should be it, that's good, yeah. We got an attack to the lower, so we need to have a block. It's good, it can be a block, but it can be all sorts of things. So don't be too fixed to settle on it. And don't think there's only one way to do it. Because one group standardized it in a certain form, and they're very strict in it. Yeah, you have to do it like this, you have to do it like this, because it's tradition. But it makes no sense when you think about the terminology has been invented probably in many cases only in the 1970s or 1980s. I was born in '66, so these terminologies were made after I was born. Okay? It's not from Sakagawa. It's not. This is not a criticism. This is just saying something that most of the people know anyway, or they feel it anyway, but they don't have a proof. So as regards to technique, we're going to do that technique, but you keep in mind that you can do it in a variety of ways of doing it. I'm going to do it now in a certain way, and I keep doing it in a certain way, but you remember that this might be a Gedan block, but it might be a Gedan attack, you know, like you would do with the Naginata, for instance. So it would be a Gedan Uchi instead of Gedan Uke, all right? So, okay, let's do a few repetitions of the Gedan-barai. That might be a Gedan-barai, but also might be something completely different in any of the kata, because it has been standardized rather late. Okay, so here's so Gedan-barai, Joran Urochi, Shomin Urochi, change of feet, change of hands, low block, high counter, strike to front. 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 And then of course you got the associations. The associations, they make gradings. Associations invite people to join them. Associations have tournaments, and some associations are just small, other associations are prefectural associations, as you see in Okinawa, and there are several of them, all of them with their own rule set. Some associations are international, global associations, and what they do is they standardize each of the movements and the terminology belonging to it to a certain standardized way. Right? So that's association Kobudo and that's association Karate. And as long as you are free to study and think for yourself, this is a good thing. It helps the beginners. It allows for grading. So you can just say, oh, nah, that's not keeping up, or something, you know. Or he has no chinkuchi. Well, everybody can say that. I have chinkuchi, you just don't see it. How about that? Oh, naughty boy. So, yeah. So these are standardized sets, and they're actually, well, they're just very, very basic, right? It's just so that everyone is the same, right? It's like the Empire in Star Wars. Something like this, right? And you think of it. So it can be an attack. It's much more lively. There's more life to it. There's more to it. We will never find out what was different between Sakugawa and Shatanyama, if they even did it, right? Or maybe the names, they were just chosen in the 20th century as well. Maybe it's not really a technique 100 years old, so it doesn't matter. But they are different kind of ways of doing it, right? Hey, boom! Hey, but we're doing it now like this. And I'm going to count a few times. Right, edge. Ni. San. Shi. Go. Right. Touch. Touch. Kill. Jib. Touch. Knee. Sun. Chi. Go. Look. Touch. Touch. Kill. Jiu. So if you do this, you train a lot. You train the technique, you train it on the left and on the right. You train it, which is more important than anything else, the hand change all the time. Most of the two, they change the hand change, this here, they train it as a warm-up a little bit, and then you only have the hand changes that you have in the kata, which are sometimes just 2 or 3 or 4. So this is one of the most important techniques. So if you train like this, you take a piece of the kata, you think about it and analyze it. You say, what can it be? Okay, there's terminology, but it was invented for the first time. Seen, I can prove this, somewhere in 1972 or so. So rather late. That's, in my case, 6 years after I was born. So it's not really Kobudo, is it? Well, it might be, it's just the name. But yeah, think about it. Then you train it left, right. Hey, and you get a feeling for the handling, for the weight of the ball. And soon your handling will be so much better, right? And you will try a different ball. You will take a light ball, you will take a, whatever you find in the construction and building shop, you know, these things. You take an overload ball, and then you try out and you find the one that's best for you, right? And then you think about the applications. Or, if you're dreaming of becoming a world champion, then you have to join the Association of the Empire. Because certificates and gold medals and titles are in Shikiyoshi and Hanshi. And reports in the newspaper, Okinawa News, Okinawa Times, Ryukyu Shimpo. These are the values of Okinawan karate and kodo. Dun, 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 dun. Hey, sasa. Now, you probably hate me. It's okay. Because